Okay, so here we go. How to speak Japanese now. So at school, you probably learned French or Spanish or something. Well, I learned French, but it doesn't matter, whatever. But you probably learned it as an academic subject. でもそれはなんかおかしくありませんか? I mean, doesn't that seem kind of wrong to you? I mean, if you want to get good at math, you need to study mathematical rules. History, too, is an academic subject. In order to learn about the past, it's necessary to analyze the past. Psycholinguistics, my own field, is another good example. In order to learn about how language is processed in the brain, we need to study the brain and language. Languages, though, are not like this, or at least they shouldn't be. Japanese is more like snowboarding, playing the guitar, or dancing. And basically, language is an active, get your hands dirty pursuit. Or at least, it should be. I mean, reading theoretical books and studying snowboarding will not help you get good on the slopes. And in fact, somebody who spends 10 years studying snowboarding and then heads straight off to the steepest, most perilous mountain on their first try is only going to end up with a broken leg. And that is if they are lucky. I mean, speaking Japanese is the same. 言語は学習するのではなく、習得するものです。That means you do Japanese. You learn Japanese by doing Japanese. Unfortunately, most people's first experience of language learning is school, where ability is judged by tests. In tests, things are simplified and even perversified into something that has very definite rights and wrongs. But daily life is not a test, and it doesn't need to be treated as such. In a test or at school, you may get punished for making mistakes. In real life, mistakes are a good thing. A good quote that I like here is from W.C. Magee. The man who makes no mistakes does not usually make anything. To put another way, somebody who has never fallen off of a snowboard is someone who has never gotten on one. You can't learn to snowboard without falling off the board a few times. The mistakes are how we learn. When you were a baby, almost everything you learned, from standing up, to walking, to reaching out to pick up a toy, to speaking your native language, was all done through a process of trial and error, 試行錯誤 in Japanese. It's a very useful yojijukugo to remember, 試行錯誤. Things are probably the same when you entered school and your first job. I mean, I know it was for me. Learning Japanese is the same. Fluency before accuracy. Always fluency first. And why? Because accuracy is not something you can control. It is not a natural part of human language processing. And if you don't believe me, record a native Japanese speaker talking, transcribe it and count the number of mistakes, anos, ettos, nandakkes, and double takes. You'll be amazed. Now, the human language system is amazing, but it's not perfect. Perfect language, in fact, sounds stranger than imperfect language. Now, I've given speeches in the past and I've been so goddamn nervous that I've planned every single word and practiced until I could do it perfectly. And you know what? Those speeches were terrible. They were crap. I might as well have typed the speech into a computer and used text-to-speech software attached to some speakers. まるで人間ではなくロボットのようでした。Imperfection is a natural part of being human. We are used to hearing mistakes, especially in normal conversation. So you know what? Mistakes? 実際相手はそんな間違いなんて気にしてないんです。気にしてるのはあなただけです。大事なのは完璧に話すことではなく、the message。つまり言いたいことが伝わるかどうかということです。And of course, the ironic part of all this is that only once you can do this will truly accurate Japanese actually follow. Okay, so that is it for today's video. I'd love to know what you think. So let me know in the comments and see you in the next video.